Hey everybody, it's Rob the Metal Guy here with a video update. I'm actually going to be doing some new releases as the topic for this video that I just acquired. Last week I got an order from Hells Headbanger Records, a great distribution site if you're into hard rock, heavy metal, punk, especially the extreme forms such as black metal, death metal, grindcore. Hells Headbangers has it all, from classic releases that are hard to find, bands that didn't get a lot of recognition, to current extreme metal bands who have a hard time finding distribution in the US. If you're a fan of Satanic Warmaster, Hells Headbangers has a ton of releases. All my CDs, when it comes to Satanic Warmaster vinyl, have been through Hells Headbangers, and I got a couple sick releases I'll be talking about today that I just purchased. That, like I said, last week the order came in, and I've been holding off talking about it as I also had a new CD that came in from a death metal band from Arizona that I'll be talking about in the video also, and a cassette from a friend that was given to me that I thought I'd give a shout out to, that I got when I saw this past Friday evening in Oakland. I went to a show for Funeral Chant, Disimperium, and Abstractor. If you are familiar with the Rock Metal Temple blog that I have, check it out, rockmetaltemple.blogspot.com. Abstractor, I'm wearing the t-shirt right now too that I bought from the show. They're one of my favorite extreme metal bands currently when it comes to the world of death, doom, sludge, just pure apocalyptic, abrasive sounding music. I talked about their vinyls that I have in the Sentient Ruin video that I did a couple weeks back prior, and just great show. Really enjoyed it. So I'll be talking about that. But let's start out with the video, let's start the video where I go over the Hells Headbanger releases. So I'll begin with the CD that I purchased. This band is called Polluted Inheritance, and the album is called Ecocide. And what struck me about Polluted Inheritance is I saw that they were on Vic Records. This is who reissued the CD. And I had checked out the album because it was on one of the YouTube channels that I follow. And I saw that Hells Headbangers was selling it. And I just love this band. They're from the Netherlands. It's just that pure, putrid, just destructive death metal sound. If you're a fan of, again, a lot of the bands from the European death metal scene, especially at the late 80s, early 90s, you're going to want to check out Polluted Inheritance. And this CD is really cool because it combines this album of theirs, Ecocide, as well as you get tracks from the Afterlife demo, which came out in 1991. So I find that really fascinating that it's the first album combined with some demo tracks. And this release, though, is really awesome. If you're getting into heavy, just deafening death metal, solid riffs, and when you think about the Netherlands and that Dutch extreme music scene, there's just tons of bands that come to mind. And the other band that I bought in that order from Hells Headbangers is also from the Netherlands. But check this out, Polluted Inheritance, Ecocide, really solid, just extreme death metal, just gruesome sounding vocals. To me, it's the type of vocal style that I like when it comes to death metal, and the riffs and just everything about it. The sound of this album is really impressive. You wonder, and this is one of those bands, and Vic Records has done such a great job with a lot of bands from that period who unfortunately didn't get the recognition of, let's say, a band like Pestilence, Morbid Angel, Deicide. I mean, there's so many bands that I can mention in my CD collection, vinyl collection, that Hells Headbangers and a lot of these other labels like Vic Records, who Hells Headbangers works with, right, that sells and distributes these reissues, they're giving people the chance to buy, discover these artists, and I think it's really done a great job giving young metal fans introduction to some of these groups and being inspired to then want to create their own style similar, as well as, of course, the iconic extreme metal bands. But these groups that put out some of these albums that really, when you've discovered them, they're amazing. So check it out, though. This is Polluted Inheritance. All right, so as I said, the other band that I ordered an album from Hells Headbangers from the Netherlands, very well-known group if you are a fan of extreme death metal, Sinister. This group is awesome. This is their first album, Cross the Sticks. Check it out. I love the album artwork for this. It's a great release. When you pull it out, you get the gatefold, the lyrics, really cool. Got the band. But this is probably my favorite Sinister album. Diabolical Summoning right behind it. That's the second album. I have that on CD in my collection. And I saw Hells Headbangers had this on vinyl. I wanted to get Diabolical Summoning on vinyl. Unfortunately, I think it wasn't in stock anymore. But when I saw that they did have this in stock, I was really excited. As Sinister's riffs and just how their music was produced, how everything sounded back then, it's amazing. This band deserves so much more recognition and praise for their execution, the music that they were able to create. And I really do enjoy like listening to this album. There's something about it that just really stands out. So highly recommend if you're a fan of just straightforward, ruthless sounding death metal and just really strong guitar playing. This to me is like the style, the heaviness, just the intensity that comes from their music is unbelievable. So check it out. This is Sinister, Cross the Sticks. The first three Sinister albums are great. Like their material is, to me, there's very little to complain about. They're great releases, and I would highly recommend checking out a lot of their discography. And they're still going. Like I do know they're still active. If you check it out and follow them on social media accounts, they're talking about stuff. They played shows. But again, the first three albums, those are the best. Cross the Sticks, Diabolical Summoning, and then Hate is a really strong release. So next is that death metal band from Arizona that I got just today. It came in the mail. Shout out to them. I reviewed this album for the blog. Again, check out the blog. Also make sure to subscribe to the channel. Like, subscribe. As my nephew Mason, who appeared in a video, he wants me to market. He keeps telling me to say that continuously. He's the marketing genius. So again, and my 11-year-old nephew is the one kind of helping me with the marketing of this channel. But I just talk about the music and make random weird comments and hope to entertain you people. He's the marketing genius right now. So more to come from him, trust me, in future videos, because he did enjoy that one video he was in. But getting back to the music here, Eternal is a band that I reviewed for the blog. And this album is called Faceless Evil. It's an EP. And they also have a cover of Obituary Slowly We Rot, which is something that stood out to me because when I first reviewed this EP and I came across Eternal, I said to myself, this sounds very much like early Obituary, very much like Death. I would say the Scream Bloody Gore and Leprosy periods, and even a bit of Spiritual Healing, and ties into, I would also say, the school of thought and style of James Murphy. Cancer, Death Shall Rise. If you're a fan of that stuff, Eternal really does have a great old school death metal sound. They're a young band, and I don't know what it is about Arizona right now, but out there in Arizona, there are a ton of great extreme punk and metal groups. Yellow Cake is a band that I really enjoy. I've talked about them before. I had the shirt I think I wore during one of my reviews, and I love Yellow Cake. I actually remember that EP they put out, that demo. That was a great release, Can You See the Future? And then also bands like, oh gosh, I mean, I feel like I'm drawing, Savage Necromancy, who the singer in Yellow Cake, she sings in Savage Necromancy. So there's just a ton of really good groups from that Arizona region. And Eternal just right away caught my ear. They just have such a great sound, great attitude. I love the transition at times from the slower mid-tempo riffs to that more intense, grueling kind of style of old school death metal. I mean, if you like Death, Obituary, Morbid Angel, Massacre, again, late 80s, early 90s death metal, you want to check out Eternal. I'm hoping to hear more from them. They're a group that I would love to see more. Also, shout out whoever did the album cover. I think that's awesome. It definitely has that look and feel of an old school death metal release. but I'm looking forward to what they can do, because here's a young band, very talented. I love the guitar playing on this. I also love the piano intro that starts off the release. That ambience reminded me of a lot of old school death metal releases from bands that I enjoyed from back in the day as well, that are, now iconic groups. And this album pays homage to that period, and they're doing a good job. They don't, to me, the production, their attitude, their sound, they don't sound like one of these silly bands that calls themselves death metal. At the end of the day, they sound like a shitty metalcore group, and you just delete the promo and you say, gosh darn it, why do I keep getting crap sent to my inbox? So check them out, man. Eternal from Arizona. Great band. All right, last Cassette I'm going to be talking about. Yes, I do collect cassettes. I have some. I'm mostly a vinyl CD guy, but I have a few cassettes. Gifted to me, most of them, but a couple I've purchased because I really want to support the artist. But this one is Empty Chalice, and it combines a couple of their first demo EP releases, Spiritual Abuse, as well as Execution Rights. This is really cool. My friend plays an Empty Chalice. They're a black metal band, very primitive, raw sounding black metal. Again, the early elements of death metal. If you're into like Necrovore, also Blasphemy. I mean, go figure, right? Blasphemy, that region of Canada. And Empty Chalice, they're from Vancouver. Again, that region, I think there's a more specific geographical location. I'm just going to say Vancouver, because that is the one that most people probably know right off the top of the bat. I think Victoria, right? That whole... There's a strong extreme music scene up there. Ceremonial Bloodbath, they're a great band from up there. But Empty Chalice, in my opinion, again, I'm being a little biased, but man, my friend who plays in this band, I really do enjoy this release, and really cool that it combines Spiritual Abuse and Execution Rights. Spiritual Abuse was an album that I really, again, it's more of a demo EP, but it's just solid black metal. Solid, just really good sounding music. And they also cover Hellhammer on this, and that's another group that if you're into Hellhammer, you will definitely hear the similarities. Just very, and something about this, their music I like too is the ambience and the haunting atmospheres, right? They have the bells ringing. It has that sinister, pure evil vibe. And I really hope to see Empty Chalice live one day. That'd be so cool. I got to get up to Canada, visit my friend. He came down, and that's how he gifted me this. He was nice enough to give me a copy of this. I do appreciate it, man. I've been listening to it a lot since he gave it to me this past Friday. But he came down, he wanted to meet up, and he said, hey, are you going to go to the Disimperium, Abstractor, and Funeral Chant show in Oakland? And I'll be honest, I was on the border. I really wasn't going to go. But hearing my friend who came down from Canada was going to go, I said, you know what, I think I will go, man. And I've always wanted to see Abstractor. I've been a fan of Abstractor since Tomb of Feathers back in, gosh, it was like 2012-ish. That was when their first releases. I've been following them. I review them constantly for the blog. I have their albums, my record collection. Just a great band. So I've always wanted to see them, but they always play in like Oakland. And I'll be honest, it's just the stars never align. I never could make my way out. Also, I'll be rather honest. The places they play in Oakland are a bit dicey, and that's just what it is. But I said, I'll make the trek out there. I'll drive out from San Ramon to Oakland, and I'll say this: if it was not for Abstractor and my friend, I probably would have been a little bit hesitant. But also, I got to give a shout out to Funeral Chant, Disimperium. They played great, and Disimperium, they just put out a new album on Sentient Ruin that's really good as well. They're a great band. Check them out, man. They're awesome. If you love the blackened death metal, it reminds me of even like the bands from Finland at times. Their sound and their attitude, just great music. And they're on Sentient Ruin, so that's a plus. But when I met my friend AJ, we were driving down to the venue. I'm just gonna say, man, that part of Oakland, it really is sobering and surreal to see what's going on down there right now. And I'm not getting political or anything. I'm just going to say, man, you see people doing crack and shooting drugs up, shooting up, heroin and other types of hard drugs, fentanyl is going around there, and you have prostitutes out in the open, in the tents and everything. But God, it sounds like a place Hunter Biden probably went on vacation, but not a lot of people, because it really does kind of like, you see this and you're almost demoralized. And I saw some guys stripping a car, right? You knew it wasn't their car because they were looking around as they're taking out the parts to the engine, and they were pretty much tearing it apart. There was quite a few cars on that street that I saw was at Martin Luther King Boulevard that looked like they'd been stripped. So that's why I parked at my friend AJ, his girlfriend's house, and we drove, because I was a little worried, let's just say, of my car, because I'm pretty sure my car had some parts that I could see getting sold on the black market for sure. So, and he had a rental car, so we, he was like, hey, he was really nice enough to do that. So I made sure I bought him a drink, and I got them some cookies, because I'm just like that. I'm a nice guy, and I do appreciate when people go out of the way for me, and I return the favor, and it's that mutual respect. But we had a great night. It was a good show. It's just, unfortunately, the area, like I said, it's just one of those sad situations that you'd love to see bands have an opportunity to get to venues in an area where people can come out, and you don't have to deal with the BS, right? The chaos, just, again, the sad state of society. It really is, it's just unfortunate. But, bands got to play. Bands have to play where they can play nowadays, especially in the world of extreme music. It's very difficult. So I'm not gonna get mad at the bands. It's not their fault. Again, they're trying to, play anywhere they can, it's tough. But at the end of the day, it was a great show. I'm so glad I got to see Abstractor, as well as Disappearing Funeral Chant, two really solid bands. And also, I'm getting to see my friend was cool and getting this tape. Check them out. Like I said, Empty Chalice. They got a Bandcamp I'm going to put below in the description, so you can go and check them out and, purchase their music, because you can, on their Bandcamp, donate, support them, and hopefully we'll see a full-length album from them that you can get on CD, vinyl, or something. As they're a group that's just really talented, that I really do see, if you love extreme underground music, hopefully being something that catches on, because they're, again, just solid. And they're from Canada, and they too have to deal with BS, just like us here in the Bay Area have our sad state of affairs. They've got little bitch ass Trudeau, so I feel bad. We're all dealing with stuff, and that's why we have our music, to pull us through all the garbage. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and check out some of these releases I talked about. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment or come after me saying, I'm in, hey, it's not that bad, Oakland. It's a decent city. People pooping on the sidewalk could be worse. They could be throwing the poop at you like animals in the zoo. But that actually happened to my dad. It's a true story. He was at the San Francisco Zoo, and gorillas were throwing crap at him. So I guess we could be thankful that homeless people don't do that, on the streets. God. Or I have to worry about stepping it. Last thing we need to worry about is them throwing it. How did this video turn into me talking about poop? Anyway, everybody. All right, you have a good night, everybody. It's getting late here. Maybe I'm tired after a long day of work and such. But, oh gosh, what am I trying to increase my ratings? Like, who do I think I am? Trying to be like a shock jock? Anyway, okay, we're going to check out the releases. Stay heavy metal, everybody. I'm Rob the Metal Guy, signing out. Later.